Hello, I'm the Pirate Novelist, your captain through the rough seas of media, and it's that time again, time for another collection update. So I have a stack of records here to show you from the past couple of months. I think the last one I did was my January update. Well, it's time to update you on what I've been collecting and what I've been listening to. So to start off with first, so we can get the ball rolling here, is Tonight Alive's Underworld. I've talked about this one already, so I won't bore you too much with the details. This one is on very cool clear yellow. Take it out of the package here, and I can show you very quickly. It's a very nice see-through yellow. I've talked already about this album, and I'll leave a link in the description below about my review for this album, so I'm not going to bore you to death with this, but this is my first one. Whenever I do these videos, I end up having a huge mess that I have to clean up afterwards, so I'm going to try and be as economical as possible with this. The next couple that I got are from the thrift store. I'm going to try and be as quick as possible. The first one being The Pretenders Extended Play. If I happen to say any one of these albums twice, I do apologize. This one is on the, what label is this? Sire label. It actually had some really nice sleeve on the inside. I just upgraded it to this master sleeve. Whenever I pay more than $1 for a record, I tend to put it in nice MoFi sleeves. Unless the sleeve on the inside is really good. Paid $6 for this one. Has some decent songs on it. The next one I picked up is It's Hard by The Who. Did not have a Who record yet. This one is on the, it's standard black. I'm not going to take it out, but it had the original lyrical inner sleeve. I don't have all these, all my records as of yet in these really nice heavy sleeves. So if you happen to see one without a sleeve, I do apologize. I'm waiting until record store day to stock up again. I'm about 30 short. So hopefully after record store day, I'll be fine. The next one is Something of Time by Night Noise. I've talked about my Sean Hers and Scott. I noticed right away that this is the same style. I've yet to play this one yet, but I know since it's probably the same label, I'll just show you this very quickly. When I first got my Sean Hers and Scott, it came with this really cool inner sleeve with a whole bunch of information on it, listing of other records, and it came with this really cool Philosophy, Formal Length, Windham Hill Records, information, and videos as well. This particular piece of paper was in the Sean Hers and Scott release when I got it, so it leads me to believe these. It led me to believe initially, and they really are, they're on the same label. So I know I really liked that. The Sean Hers and Scott was more of a instrumental album. I knew I was going to like this one as well, I know. And I paid $1 for it, so I'm not going to be too complaining about that when I go and take a listen. The next one, or the next two, are by the same band, Heart. So I got Heart Magazine, and this one is Babelous Strange. These are both on standard black. I got a good deal on both of them. Next up is Vangelis Opera Sauvage. I already have the Chariots of Fire release, so I knew I liked Vangelis, so I had to pick this one up. I'm into a lot of instrumental stuff, as you can tell. from this, what I'm showing here. The next one is another instrumental album. It's Fresh Air 5 by Mannheim Steamroller. Those who, it's on a really nice gatefold, really beautiful gatefold. Those who know Christmas music would know about Mannheim Steamroller. The next one is Don McLean. I think this is just self-titled. Yeah, it's self-titled. Does not have American Pie on it, but when I saw it, I had to pick it up. It was in really good condition. So whenever I find something in really good condition, I pick it up. Here, I'll show you the back real quick so you can get a view of the track listing. The next one I picked up is by Buddy Rich, Buddy and Soul, Buddy Rich Big Band. This was recorded live in Hollywood at the Whiskey A Go-Go. So here's the back, and what's cool is the gatefold is a nice picture of Buddy there, and then there's the picture of the band with the other information from lyrical, there's like the gatefold. So I really wanted to breeze through the albums that I got at the thrift store so I could spend a little bit more time on the albums that I got recently. Now, while I treat every single album that I get with love and care, and I love every single album that I have, the next couple are very special to me because they are early birthday presents. Now, my birthday is not until the beginning of April, but one friend is happening to go on the Paramore cruise. He will not be here for my birthday, so he just got it for me. A couple of things for me early. I'm actually waiting on one more thing that is temporarily out of stock on Amazon, from my understanding. So I wanted to just kind of spend a little bit more time on the things that a couple of my friends got me for my birthday. The first one is one that was a long time coming, and one that I'd put on my Amazon wish list and forgot about. Was very surprised to see this. I'm finally glad that I have a copy of this. It's Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Classic album. It's on black vinyl on the Griffin Records. It has the really nice lyrical inner sheet. Just because of YouTube, I might not actually show that particular inner sleeve because it is a little adult. This is just a very classic album. Of course, you have Welcome to the Jungle. You have Mr. Brownstone, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine. I was really surprised that Sweet Child of Mine is actually on the B side of this record. But this record, for being a repress, sounds absolutely fantastic. My friend Chris got this for me. I'm absolutely floored that I have this. Sounds really good. I'm very glad to have this. The next one is one that I've needed for quite some time. I don't know why I passed it up so long, but my friend got this for me. And it's Paramore's Brand New Eyes. This one I have needed to complete my Paramore albums, or studio albums collection. I'm missing a couple of the singles on vinyl, which I'm trying to track down as of now. And if you've watched my Grails video, you know that two of the items, really most of the items, are very expensive. This is on standard black vinyl with a replica of the label that was used at the time of the original press. And then they included basically all the lyrics from the CD release. I actually happen to have the box set CD, so I do not have the regular CD version of this. So it's really nice to actually have a vinyl version. I might pick up the regular CD version eventually, but I really don't feel the need. This is probably the one that means the most to me, other than the next one I'm about to talk about. When it comes to music, I'm very happy to do this, and I might even talk about the collection that I have with Paramore one day. I might have to ask James over. James, I might actually have to ask you if I could borrow your style for your collections video to show off all the stuff that I have with Paramore. The next one is from one of my very best friends, and this one has a little bit of a meaning to it. I have to explain a little bit. I am a big fan of podcasts. So I go to the gym 3 times a week, and I'll switch between music, and I'll switch between, listen to the radio, or I'll watch what's on the TV on there. But there's this one podcast that I follow that is really special to me. It's called Welcome to Night Vale. I'll leave a link to the Welcome to Night Vale YouTube page down in the description. But me and my friend were talking about, she asked what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, well, pick something for me. I had a Amazon wish list, and then we got to talking about this particular release. So this is Welcome to Night Vale on vinyl, and what this was a very special release for Independent Bookstore Day. I'm going to cover up the digital download code, even though I did use it. It does come with the digital download. This was for Independent Bookstore Day, and what this is excerpts from the audiobook, and it also includes some commentaries from the 3 main important people from Welcome to Night Vale. So you have Joseph Fink, the original creator, Jeffrey Craner, who is a co-creator and writer, and the voice of Welcome to Night Vale, Cecil. And there are the 3 people. Cecil Baldwin right there, the voice of Night Vale. This is a very interesting... It's an interesting podcast because it combines a lot of creepy elements. It's basically, I think Joseph Fink called it a town in the desert that has basically every single conspiracy theory is correct. So there are a lot of Cthulhu-esque influences, supernatural influences. It's a very interesting podcast. And this particular release right here is excerpts from the audiobook and commentary from the 3 people. And even though, this is really interesting with the inner sleeve, I found it very interesting. The color of the record, I'm going to show you it here real quick. It's on a really cool marble purple. And if you actually shine a light through it, it is very translucent in a sense. So if I happen to put it up to my light here, I can see through it nicely, and I can see a lot of elements that I don't see. And this is very cool. I actually got to sit and listen to this a little earlier today, filming this on a Sunday. And I got to listen to this earlier today, so I cannot wait to actually... it came with the digital version of the audiobook. I can't wait to actually sit and listen to the audiobook. What I found interesting also about this particular record is normally with a gatefold like this, if it's a single, the pocket over on the side with my right hand is not, it's kind of glued shut. This one isn't. I found that very interesting. And this is not my only spoken word vinyl. This is, if I didn't give it away, it's a podcast, so it's mainly spoken word. There is some music in the background. There is some score. But this is completely side B. If you listen, the way they set this up is you really should listen to side B before you listen to side A, which I find kind of cool. It's mainly spoken word. So this isn't my first spoken word record. I have talked about this before, but this is not in the same vein. But I've talked about this one before. The Echo Terrorist in Me, the 7-inch by Rise Against, has a B-side. We Will Never Forget. It's spoken word on the B-side. So this is not my only spoken word. But Welcome to Night Vale is something that connects me and a very close friend. And it's just kind of fitting that it's a vinyl record too. And I think this is going to be one of my most interesting pieces in my collection. And I'm very, very glad to have a copy of this. So moving on, I only have about only 2 more to show you. The next one is from another one of my best friends. She bought this for me just a couple weeks ago, beginning of March, because I bought her gifts beginning of, end of February, because her birthday was actually last week. So she got this early for me so that it would come in time for my birthday. So it's about a week or so early. This is middle of March. I'm hopefully getting this up on the same day that I filmed this, but I had a lot of guesses, but this is one that I have wanted for a long time. When I first started collecting, this was on my my short list of wants, and of course, you know, when you start a want list, you start looking and seeing things. It's kind of like a kid in a candy store. You're like, ooh that, ooh that, ooh that. But this is finally in my collection. My friend who lives in Europe, so it took a while for it to get here, but this is a European pressing of it, and this is a reissue of Green Day's American Idiot. This is on my short list of albums that are absolutely perfect. I might actually do a video of that. I know Andy, before I started watching him, he did a, I think it was Andy, for one of his contests, he did a, maybe 10 perfect albums, and I only really have 10, and this would be on that short list. Just wanted to show you that this is just on standard black vinyl, but I love all the labels. This album means a lot to me, and I was listening to it recently, and I'm a political-minded person, but I'm not going to get political on this channel. But this, I was listening to this just today and thinking about what's going on right now, and this still is a perfect album for the time. And, you know, an album that stands the test of time like this one, it's something to be commended about that. So very, very glad to have this, and I'm just so floored and thankful to all my friends who got me something. I mean, if you look at what I have just right here, before I even go to the next one, I mean, I have 4 amazing albums. Let's see if we can get them all. Yeah, I have 4 amazing albums in my hand here. I have one more to show you, and I still have another one coming. Like, I feel so absolutely floored that I'm being so spoiled this year. Most years, my birthday falls on April 5th. Most years, either when I was younger, we wouldn't have parties because it either fell on Easter or it fell at a time where everybody was out of town because their parents wanted to go have a family trip for spring break. So this, I feel like this year is making up for all those lost years. I have one more to show you, and this one was one from my mom's boyfriend. We stopped at the local record store, and I had a couple things that I thought in mind, and, you know, he had a budget, I had a budget, so I said, let me pick something that is very interesting. I had no idea this existed, but I'm very, very happy to have it. This is Dawkins' Greatest Hits. It has these songs on it. I'll leave it here so you can take a look for just a moment. Well, what I really think is cool about this is, I mean, I'm a fan of colored records, but this one is just absolutely beautiful. This one is a beautiful non-see-through red record, and I put it on, and normally when I get a new record I clean it. I didn't get the time to, but as soon as I popped this on, it sounded absolutely fantastic. Whatever mixing they used, whatever was done with this one, it sounds absolutely fantastic. The Green Day sounded fantastic. The Brand New Eyes sounded fantastic. But this one on sound quality, just with the harmonies and no clicks or pops or any of that, this absolutely just sounded fantastic. I'll read off, let me put this back here. I'll read off the songs. Said, I Just Got Lucky, Breaking the Chains, Into the Fire, The Hunter, In My Dreams, which is what I know them for. It's Not Love on the B side, Alone Again, Dream Warriors, Unchain the Night, and Tooth and Nail. Just, I'm a fan of greatest hits albums, especially if you can't find a particular album, or if you just want a little bit of a taste of a band. I'm all for a greatest hits. I'm missing one greatest hits to basically be complete with the Terry Kath and Peter Cetera era of Chicago. So once I actually get that, I think I'll do a collections video on that one as well. Similar to Vinyl Collector James, I'm gonna have to message you and see if you'll allow me to borrow your style on that. But that wraps up what I've been, what I've grabbed, what I've gotten for the past month or so. I know I filmed one in January, so this gets me caught up till now. Hopefully, I won't actually take 2 more months to show you a collections update video. Did have a little bit of comments on the Record Store Day list, but I did that on my podcast that I do with DJ Lone Wolf HD. So I'll leave a link in the description below of our thoughts on Record Store Day. We actually did that before the list dropped, but we had an idea just of rumors. But I'll give you just my top of my head, the couple that I'm looking to get. The Kenny Loggins release looks really cool. My father passed away when I was 17, and me and him listened to Kenny Loggins and Billy Joel quite a lot, so that one has sentimental meaning to me. The Nationals, The Boxer Live looks very interesting. I'm also looking forward to the Soundgarden A-sides, as well as the Linkin Park One More Light Live. There's a few more that I have thoughts on, but overall, it's just really those 4. What I do with Record Store Day is I look at the list and prioritize everything, look at my budget, and then kind of put everything into need category, and then major want, nice to have can really drop off the list. So if I can't really find anything, because I leave the house about like 4 in the morning. Not really 4 in the morning. The latest I've ever left is that. But I'm usually in line in the first 10 or so people when it comes to the time that I'm there. I'm usually like 3:30, 4 a.m. that I'm actually sitting at the store waiting to get a number. So those are just my thoughts overall on that. I might make a video, I might not. You're more than likely going to see what I got at Record Store Day rather than what I did last year with my thoughts on the list. So, not too much more to say here. Thank you so very much for watching. Go ahead and check out Vinyl Collector James. I've mentioned him a couple of times. I'll leave his channel in the description. But until then, as I always say, when the waters get rough, keep on sailing, and I'll see you in the next video.